Welcome to my New York trip. On Monday I went to Canadian Bethel, and they have various rules at Canadian Bethel about taking photographs and posting it on the internet. So I do not have any photos to show you of Canadian Bethel. I would have taken photos of the outside, except it was raining and foggy. I couldn't see any of the landscaping. I did learn some really interesting things about the legal battles that have been fought, particularly in Quebec. It's a fascinating story how the brothers have worked so hard to legalize our work in Montreal and the surrounding areas. I also learned that at the Canadian Bethel, they have an apple orchard, and they have a colony of bees, and they harvest their own authentic maple syrup. After I went to Canadian Bethel, I went to a place called Casa Loma. I am very interested in opulent classical interior design. So Casa Loma is a very popular tourist destination in Toronto. It's absolutely beautiful. It is called a castle, but Loma is unique because it's actually built to scale. So it is really, really huge, and it feels exactly like it felt when I was in some of the actual palaces, some of the smaller palaces in England, in Europe. So the thing that I love about Casa Loma, there you can walk through a very long tunnel and you can get to the garage, and you can see like Model T type cars. And another thing I love about Casa Loma is that they're very honest. This is a time when this guy built this place in Toronto where a lot of people were really, really poor and starving and freezing in the streets. And this guy's building this huge house in Toronto, bigger than anybody's ever had. And like a lot of people who want really great things for themselves and who want to build monuments to their name, he ended up going bankrupt and dying penniless. So they're very honest at Casa Loma about the flip side of wealth and affluence. And there's a thing called free tours by foot. Free tours by foot is how I learned pretty much every free thing that I did in New York City. And they have a sister company called Tour Guides Canada. And what it is you take a guided tour, you meet at a designated location, and at the end of the tour, you tip the tour guide whatever you think the tour was worth. So the first one I took was in Toronto, downtown Toronto. There is an underground set of tunnels in Toronto that are very interesting and complex. And we met at Union Station, which was beautiful. And we saw the Royal York Hotel, where Queen Elizabeth stays when she visits Toronto. She rents out the entire top floor. And we saw some beautiful older banks in the financial district that had just gorgeous, opulent, classical architecture and interior design. And then we got a really interesting taste of modern Toronto. Toronto is much more urban, has a much more urban feel than Phoenix. It's feels very much like being in New York City. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And I love you all and miss all of you that I haven't been able to keep in touch with recently. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.